Hey guys, how's it going? Joshxjitsu back at it again with another video for you guys. I am at 149 subscribers, so I am one subscriber away to giving one free Zoom lesson to any subscriber out there. So out of 149 of you guys, once we hit 150, you know, I'll be doing some kind of a draw, maybe on Instagram Live or just whatever. But yeah, today we are going to be talking about you know, how we met our professor, Professor Raz, Mr. Raz Chan, the GOAT himself. But he's more than just that. You know, he's a book writer, he is an ass kicker, he is a owner of a school, GB New Westminster. And we're gonna talk about the first time that we've, you know, personally had a one-on-one conversation with this man. Do you have any memories?
I remember him whooping my ass.
There you go. That's exactly our first memory.
Yeah, that's everybody's first memory with it.
Exactly. So with Professor Raz, we first actually sat down. I think we jumped into a few of his classes earlier on. We started in April. Yeah, July 1st was the day where it was closed, but they said it was open for students to show up. And I remember me and Jordan walked in, and then Professor Raz comes in from behind, and he's like, I like the dedication. And I was like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, who's this? That's Professor.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I've been to any of his classes beforehand.
Right.
I saw him teaching maybe.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah.
With the class, it was me and you, and we were kind of just messing around, just like doing the techniques that we've known. We've only been at it since April of that year. Yeah, so like about 3 months in, right? We're still novices, not really we were unsure of what we were kind of doing. We had techniques, but you know, us to apply it all together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, we didn't really have that yet, but we kept training. And then we see Professor sitting there cross-legged, right? And then he was kind of feeding into just techniques and stuff, just talking about it. And then I kind of just gravitated towards him, and we had conversations and stuff like that. And you know, we're just talking about the sport itself, the art, and how he was, you know, he was basically showing his philosophy to us. He was describing it, he was explaining it, and I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was like that one grandmaster that's just standing there. He's just like, hey. He's like, oh, and then he gives us all this knowledge. He's just like, whoa.
Yeah, no, he basically like went on to us, and the thing is, I was actually in a mid-roll with a blue belt, so I was kind of fighting for my life.
Yeah.
Before Professor actually, you know, gave us the talk. And after that roll, that's when he started talking to us. And after he was telling us all these things, you know, I was invested in the sport even more. I'm like, man, this is amazing. There's more to it than just speed, strength. You know, you could actually out-finesse somebody. And that's something I don't think you could do in other sports as well. I mean, you could be crafty, right? But, you know, when you think of jiu-jitsu, you think, you know, oh, they're out here trying to break each other's joints and stuff, and you know, try and cut their circulation. I mean, that's our goal, but you know, there's a nice way of doing it, right? Yeah. And he's you know, I don't want to give away his age, but he's obviously older than us. He could be our father.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, he technically is, you know, as a mentor and as a father figure. But yeah, we asked. Was it I that asked for a role?
You did, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm shy, dog.
Yeah, man, my brother was shy. I was dumb enough to ask for a role. But I knew I had no intentions of obviously hurting someone. I just wanted to see what a black belt skilled person would feel like, you know? And we went at it. And I guess at the time, obviously, if you meet Professor, he'll tell you about it, but he said I was going crazy. I was very aggro. I was like trying to move left and right, trying to jump around, use as much strength as I could.
And jump off the wall.
I actually, he had me in side control, and then I put my foot on the wall, and then I kind of flipped over. That was lit. And then I told him, I was like, oh, I'm sorry, here's the cage. And he's like, oh, that's okay. And then, you know, we continued, and then he swept me, kicked my ass. It was the most amazing feeling. Yeah. At the time, I'm like, holy smokes, this guy. And what's funny is that he was smiling the whole time we were rolling, and I'm like, man, I'm not giving this guy anything. I'm young, I'm kind of in the prime of my physique. And for this individual to really just, you know, manipulate every single part of my body just to like, hey, there's more to it than all, you know, all that fancy stuff and all that strength and speed that we've been doing. You went at it?
Yeah, I went at it too. I just remember getting put in side control and not being able to get out and trying to just like bench press him off. He always talks about like people bench pressing and how that's not a good thing. So you know, I'm just trying to just bench press him off. And I think I tried getting him in like a reverse triangle. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get him. And then like he just pops his head out. I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah. What was crazy was I was watching Jordan roll with Professor Raz, and I'm like, holy smokes, how did he do that? Every single time. And I'm still amazed to this day whenever I see him roll. And it's funny because then you look back and you're like amazed, and then the more you know, the more you don't know. The more you realize you don't know. And I was like, holy smokes, this is way deeper than just, you know, surface level. This is like beyond. It's like we're the sea where we don't really know what's going on down there.
Yeah, so that's kind of like, that's the thing about jiu-jitsu, because when people look at it from the outside, they just see you do something and they're like, oh, that's not so hard, I could probably do that. And then when you give it a try, somebody gets out of it and you're like, what did I do wrong here?
Yeah.
And that's literally what it's like watching Professor Raz roll, because it's just like, oh, it doesn't seem too bad, or like, why isn't he getting out of that? And then you try to emulate it and you can't, and you're like, oh, well then what did he do differently? That's what makes us want to learn like the micro details, you know?
Yeah, it's a science. It's this big science, and that's what we appreciate a lot about Professor. And he's also very supportive too. Like he'll always look out for you, man. He's always been that guy for us, and we can't thank him enough. But
get out of that, Josh. Don't let him tap you, man. Yeah.
you know what's extreme? He actually has levels to his game.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know, when he decides to turn it up, you realize like, oh my goodness, there's way more to it. Because I was training with him, kind of. I mean, I don't even know if it's called training, but I wanted to give him a sweat. That's all I wanted. But he gave me 45 seconds of his time. He kicked my ass, and then he just. And I sat there like, man, I thought I was getting better, but then you kind of realize, hey, there's way more to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty incredible on his end to really turn it up and just like, he's still got it at his age.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And you know what's inspiring the most is that, you know, for someone at, you know, at his level and at that age to still keep going at a high, you know, at a high level, because of Professor Raz, he's changed our game like completely.
Yeah.
Like the way we approach it.
Oh yeah.
And just being safe about everything. Even submissions, we're trying to be as controlling as possible.
Yeah. Especially like if you ever saw us on like our first few weeks even, I was going at it like it was like UFC or something.
Yeah.
Looking back at it, I feel really bad about the people I partnered up with, because it's just like, damn.
You're trying to hurt these guys, right?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I got an opportunity for an armbar. It's like cranking it like, man.
Yeah. But like I said, he changed it over time.
Yeah.
And when we transitioned to his school out in Gracie, Barra, New Westminster, you know, that's when it was like really defined. That's when our game was really like coming together. And it's what's important about that is that, you know, he really thrives on longevity, right? The longevity of your career, of your jiu-jitsu journey.
Yeah.
And that's something that I can't thank him enough for, because I mean, let's say I still keep playing the same way I played, I would have been out. I knew I would have been out. Like I'm already having body issues now, but I would have been I honestly feel like I would have been done.
Yeah, my ankles and my back, I would always have problems with them just because of the way that I was doing stuff.
My goal, personally for me, that I want to get buried in my gi, or at least burned in my gi. Like that's how long I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. So that's my end game right there. That's what I'm planning. But yeah, I mean, that's our professor. Super funny guy, super loving, super caring, very honest, very fair, very firm. I look up to the guy. We look at him as our mentor. The people that he brings in, you know, just very like-minded, very positive, very, very good-hearted people. And for us to be surrounded in that atmosphere definitely helps in our journey, right? No one's no one's condescending, you know, no one's very pessimistic. Everyone's just, you know, just trying to keep their head in the game, especially at times like this. You know, if ever there was someone that you had to talk to, he was always that guy. So yeah, I mean, can't be happier with being under him in Mount.
Yeah.
And side control. Holy smokes!
Like rolling with him has made me fear side control way more than mount.
Yeah.
Like in mount, I realize like, oh, you know, I can do this to get out, I can do that to get out. But if you have a really, really good side control, like that's even worse, honestly.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. Yeah, his side control was impeccable. Like for him to just isolate everything and just like I'm watching his hand come down, and then he knows it's coming down too. So he's like slowly going in, and we're just like
It's so fun watching him mess around too.
Yeah.
Because like I remember one time I was watching him roll with CJ, and then like he was squishing CJ, and CJ was like, oh, and then Professor just like with his gi, and he kind of just came in over the top of his head.
Oh no.
You're not safe, CJ.
Oh, he got you.
The slowest sweep of all
It
time.
sucks when it's that slow, man. You got nothing you can do. You know?
Oh my God. He's promoting his last guard.
All of his weight is on him, man.
Alright.
He won like this.
That's what you want. What a way to finish.
Alright, CJ.
I guess words of advice. Yeah, it's always good to connect with your professor because he's gonna be a mentor to you one day, or he will be a mentor to you throughout your journey, and it'll go beyond that, right? It'll be part of your life as well. So, but yeah, that's gonna do it, you guys. This is Joshxjitsu. This is my brother. You wanna plug anything in?
Josh and Angie. Joshua. Yeah.
Okay, we're out.